slave trade and the transatlantic voyage just coming over to the shores of North America, South America, Central America alone. And according to UNESCO, they say it's 150 million. But in the past 6,000 years, we've lost over 600 million lives by the hands of these no-good terrorists. So we get into this particular dynamic, and then not excluding the indigenous people here, who they took blankets on our brothers and sisters with smallpox and killed them. That's what you call biological terrorism, is what it's called. It's not warfare because we weren't fighting then. These crackers came off the boat. Let's get into Columbia before I roll to the Moors and the transatlantic slave trade, because it's all connected. Let's deal with this. But some of y'all just got through, some of our people just got through, with this Thanksgiving. What the hell are you giving thanks for? You're giving thanks to some terrorist crackers coming in to the lands and shores of your brothers and sisters and murdering them? When Columbus landed, he said this in his own right in the King Ferdinand and Isabella. He said that these people are peaceful people, that these people are humble people, that if you give me 1,200 men, that we can go in there and slaughter them wholesale. He said they gave me gold, they gave me cotton. They're so peaceful, they're so humble. So they sent him back ships. It was about 50 ships and all of the resources necessary to destroy our indigenous brothers and sisters. And then also not excluding Pope Urban II, who in the actual symbolic dynamic of our great Moorish brother, Black African brother, dark brother, by the name of Toriki bin Zayed, when they slaughtered us there, which I'm going to roll into, that mentioning this now rolling into the Moorish dynamic. What was the dynamic of us actually not civilizing them? Because the Caribbean can't be civilized. We notice what they do. They'll come out in public, they'll say, out to the people, I'm radical, I want the people to be free. But then when you see them at their business or in their houses behind closed doors, it's another goddamn. In public, they'll act civil, and like therefore the people behind closed doors is another goddamn cracker that you experience. In public, he's so decent, he's on the pulpit and singing, Lord, Hosanna in the highest, in public. But then behind closed doors, he's raping little boys, probably sleeping with his daughters, and oppressing people as a cracker. So, here we got this particular dynamic of things. These Pharaoh bastards, what we taught them, they now, through learned behavior, know how to act civilized, but by nature they're not civil. So they used what we taught them, and in secret they took the alchemy and developed what was known as the Illuminati, or Illuminati, where they were able to take these particular principles and pervert them and develop a military wing known as the Knights Templar or the Knight Riders, and when they would pray with us in the daytime, build with us in the daytime, hang out with us, sing with us, and eat with us in the daytime. At night, they will come and slaughter us wholesale the next day and say, my goodness, what happened to you guys? This is the dynamic that we experience. So no thanks for helping you, great Africans, great Moors, great indigenous people, great black people. No thanks for helping us, great brown man, great red man, great black man with the food. And we call you Indians when you never called yourself that. No thanks for helping us. The only things we got was terrorism. So then they came in under Pope Urban II, who was 1095 AD, and slaughtered men, women, children, and babies, your black ancestors. Just like they slaughtered your brown and red ancestors. Your ancestors there, under the Moors. And then you sparked the transatlantic slave trade when they came in. Don't you ever let a cracker tell you this terrorism that they teach in their public schools. With their public schools are institutions of death and terrorism, a 12-step brainwash camp. I say that any one of you who have your children in those institutions of death, you take them the hell out of it. You either put them in a African-oriented school, or politically educated school, or revolutionary school, a school that's based on communalism and yourself and your own indigenous self, or that's right, our serious roots that we have here in Broward County.
Right here in this place.
Right at this place that we're speaking in. That sister corrected me. But this is how it works out. So you bring them to your own schools and your own dynamics, not under the enemy that's terrorizing their minds, destroying their minds. So when this whole particular dynamic, getting into this whole thing with the transatlantic slave trade and all of this, they actually tell you that, want you to believe that your ancestors were buffoons running around on backs of giraffes and alligators with bones in the nose and without a language. That's a goddamn lie. They sat down and demised and actually conspired on how they were going to carry this terrorist act out, known as the transatlantic slave trade. And when they sat down, one thing you gotta know, you don't bring dumb, ignorant, wild people in, or buffoons in to build a civilization. They took doctors out of Africa. They took professors out of Africa. They took masons and carpenters out of Africa. Kings and queens and princes, and this is recorded. One of the great brothers that was experienced this was known as Dr. Ibrahim. This brother they called the Prince among slaves. Crackers even wrote books about him. He was this great prince from Timbuktu. And when the crackers would come in to invade Timbuktu, we would fight them off. And this one particular time the crackers came in to invade us, this brother could speak several languages, including he spoke English, he spoke Spanish, he spoke Portuguese, Arabic, Hebrew, Fulani, Mandinka. He was an awesome brother. And that Imhotep line of divines from another dynamic of the continent, in West Africa, and Imhotep in East Africa. So this great brother, they had this cracker on the ground, and they wasn't going to kill him unless he gave the order. So they said, come in. They told the person to come. So Malachi came, and they said, yes, he's one of them. And so the cracker said, you know, I have a wife, I have children. Please don't kill me. I'm only a soldier. So he said, let him go. He let him go. Later on, when Dr. Ibrahim got taken into bondage, again, you can find out information about him. There's a book written about him, one of the Prince among slaves. And other people have written about him. I think Sutton wrote that book. But other crackers have written about him. So he was taken on a slave ship and brought to a plantation. About a good period of 15 to 20 years later, the same cracker comes by. Slaves behind him. He's a slave catcher now. Big time slave catcher. And he looks and he says, Ibrahim, is that you? And so Ibrahim on the plantation, because what happened, he had, just like all these other crackers, dumb cracker slave masters, which we couldn't be those buffoons that they said we were, if we taught our dumb slave masters how to read, how to write, how to cook, how to build homes, and taught them morals and values that a caveman didn't have, that a cracker didn't have, that a beast didn't have. So we taught them how to build boats, how to build houses, how to cook, how to clean, and we still playing with these crackers today. And working for them too. So, and that particular kind of dynamic. So he said, Ibrahim, is that you? And he says, yes. He said, what are you doing, Ibrahim? He said, I'm a slave. And he said, no, we got to do something about this. So let me get this clear. This cracker wasn't trying to ask him, you know, why he was a slave, because he was catching slaves. See, it's a dynamic like this, like a black cop, brown cop, and a white cop. Now, let's say, for instance, some white boys insulting a brown or black cop. And the white boy and the white cop is there. You say, you don't talk to him like that, damn it. I understand he's a nigga. He's saying that calling his mind something literally. But he's a cop, goddammit. That's a cop. Now it's not because you that he loves you or anything, because he's also fraternal. So that's a cop that you insulted. That's how he sees it. He's a nigga, but he's a nigga cop. Goddamn, he's a spit, but that's a spit cop. Okay, you respect that badge. Look past that near skin and look past that brown goddamn skin, that's big skin, that's a goddamn cop. Respect that badge, boy. I believe in white power too, but don't do that here. And you boys need to take off those hoods. Talking about your white supremacists, we're the real white supremacists. But we can kill a nigger and it's called justifiable homicide. So, in this whole reality of things, so he says, we gotta do something about it. So he goes to the slave master and he says, sir, you have this slave, I want to buy this slave. So the cracker slave master said, he's not for sale. He said, I'll give you anything. He said, nah, you know, that boy, you know, he counts money for me, he does all my business.